Welcome to Fortress Biotech. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, Lindsay Rosenwald, Chairman and CEO. Thank you, Mr. Rosenwald. You may begin.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining the Fortress Biotech corporate presentation this morning. On slide 2, you will see we will be making forward-looking statements this morning. Please look at our SEC filings for all of our risk factors and financial statements. On slide 3, you see here is the opportunity in brief. As you will see shortly, we have plenty of near-term catalysts that we hope will be creating shareholder value in the near term and for years to come. We have over 25 development stage programs, as well as 5 marketed prescription dermatology products that have grown very rapidly since launch 3 years ago. We have plenty of opportunities to continue that revenue growth. We have a very experienced management team to help with our business plan execution. On slide 4, this is just a snapshot of many of our products and programs. As you can see, it is a very substantial list. On the left are our commercial product offerings. The rest of the list is comprised of our development stage pipeline of 17 clinical programs, including 7 in the later stages of clinical trials. We also have several preclinical programs. Slide 5 graphically describes our business model. This is our most important slide. Fortress focuses on growing shareholder value and cash flow through the marketing of prescription medicines, as well as the development of potential new prescription medicines. The 4 spheres on the left side that you saw go down the mountain, these are representative of a snowball, hopefully getting larger each and every year. The goal is to continue to grow shareholder value annually indefinitely. On the right side of the slide is the cross-section of our representative snowball. We attempt to grow shareholder value in 5 ways. The first is revenue growth. As you will see in a moment, our dermatology business is a very successful business, and it was launched over only 3 years ago. And recently, Deloitte, the large accounting firm, ranked it one of the 10 fastest growing tech, biotech, and media companies in the United States over the last 3 years. It's been growing very rapidly. The second way we grow value is through growth in our balance sheet. As you will see shortly, our Fortress has a very large development stage pipeline. Most of these programs are located in partner companies, which fund the development of these drug candidates. In exchange for rights to our drug candidates, we receive shares in those companies that over time we hope will become very substantial in value on our balance sheet. The third way is to increase shareholder value through monetization of these assets, through selling partner companies, and potentially very large corporate collaborations. As you will see later in the presentation, 2 of our programs could see over $275 million in free cash flow to Fortress over the next several years after only a very small investment. A fourth way we create shareholder value is through priority review vouchers. We have several that could potentially generate in the aggregate in the hundreds of millions in cash flow to Fortress in the next several years. And last but not least, once our drug candidates make it to the market, in most instances we will receive royalties on sale. So as you can see, we have a rapidly growing business that becomes increasingly less risky as our revenues grow, as our development stage pipeline and shots on goal increase and move ahead in development through multiple critical milestones. On slide 6, we have a graphic representation of our dermatology company's revenue growth. We have 5 prescription dermatology products currently. Our growth has been both rapid and is now profitable. We see many new product opportunities that we hope to acquire and market over the next year and more. For those of you who remember a very successful dermatology company that was acquired by Bausch Health several years ago, that company was Pharmaceuticals. It was one of the most successful dermatology-focused companies in the United States. They were acquired for $2.5 billion. Our senior management team at Journey came to us from Medicis after the acquisition. We have 41 drug reps in the field across the United States. We expect to continue to grow our revenues over the next several years through both sales force expansion and new product acquisition. On slide 7, we briefly describe our strategy. Basically, business development is our research and development. We have a large and talented business development team composed primarily of aggressive and financially motivated medical doctors and PhDs that want to focus on the business side of medical science. Their job is to identify marketed pharmaceutical products that we can acquire on reasonable terms, as well as to identify development stage drug candidates that we believe can create excellent value for Fortress in the near, medium, and long term. Once we acquire them, we obviously have to develop the drug candidates, and we do that primarily through partner companies. Through those companies, we attempt to monetize those assets to the full extent possible. I will give you some examples shortly. Slide 8, as you can see, we have a large and growing development team and a large number of development stage product candidates and revenue-generating products. Importantly, when we license development stage drug candidates, we are looking for candidates that often have meaningful human data already, address areas of unmet medical needs, are available on very reasonable terms, and that we believe would have interest at some point for licensing and mergers and acquisitions. Slide 9, our management team is composed of very experienced and very successful professionals that are highly entrepreneurial, highly qualified for their positions, and very, very motivated. On slide 10, here are 2 examples of near-term monetization opportunities. As I said before, our research and development team really is business development. We have many full-time MDs and PhDs whose only job is to look for exciting drug candidates that we believe have excellent data, that lower the risk profile, and that we can partner out such that we do not bear the cost of research and development directly, but maintain significant value in this development program. For example, on the right side is Calum Biosciences, one of our partner companies. Several years ago, one of our doctors found a really exciting specialty drug candidate in a clinical trial at a major university here in New York City. The data was incredibly compelling in humans. Because this is a very inefficient market, and that is the basis of our business model, this drug candidate was not well known in the medical community, let alone the pharmaceutical and biotech community, and we were able to acquire it on very reasonable terms. Again, we do not like to spend money on research and development, so we had to look for a partner. In that partner, we found a company called Alexion Pharmaceuticals, which is one of the most successful biotech companies of all time. We were able to consummate a win-win deal with Alexion. We were able to license, we were able to, as you can see in that slide, the way our business model works, Alexion has fully funded the partner company. It will pay for all of the research and development, and upon the first positive clinical trial readout, they will have the right to acquire Calum for up to $500 million. So that is an example of how we find what we think are great clinical stage candidates that are undiscovered, work hard to find really great partner companies to maximize the value of the asset and to monetize the asset as quickly as possible for Fortress. The other example on the slide is Avenue Therapeutics. We were able to license patents for the use of a very well-known and widely used drug in the United States and all over the world called tramadol. Our patents are for the use of the drug as an intravenous agent as opposed to the pill version, which is widely prescribed in the United States. It was and is a expensive development program. We sought out a development partner and found an excellent partner in Cipla, one of the largest Indian pharmaceutical companies. Again, a great drug candidate that we were able to license on very reasonable terms. We added value through a couple of clinical trials that were successful and partnered with Cipla, who put up the capital to develop the program. Upon success, we expect to be acquired by Cipla, as you can see here. The takeout, we hope, will happen in the next 12 months for about $180 million, of which Fortress would receive about $48 million, plus a contingent value right, which is simply a royalty on sales going through 2036. So the take-home message is that it is a very inefficient market to find these assets. It just takes hard work, discipline, and most importantly, a lot of experience. On slide 11, this is our near-term value-creating pipeline. We have already discussed several of these. The next one after tramadol is our gene therapy for bubble boy disease. These are newborn infants that are born with a rare genetic disease that causes them to have no functioning immune system. It is a uniformly fatal disease, and it happens pretty quickly without therapy. This is a very exciting technology. Essentially, we give the newborn a gene that allows their immune system to work properly. It has been treated over a dozen patients very successfully. This summer, we anticipate starting 2 pivotal clinical trials. This is a major milestone for us. The next drug on the list is CCI-101. It's a drug for a rare pediatric disease called Menkes disease. This is a miserable disease for young babies and young children. We believe we have a compelling therapy for these children. Again, as an example of our business development expertise, we were able to acquire this drug from the sponsor at a very low upfront cost. We expect to file for approval by the end of this year and hope to have the drug approved by the end of next year. The economics of that deal are such that it comes with we hope it comes with a rare pediatric voucher, which is sellable in a market for these vouchers for up to $100 million or more. Again, this is our business model, find mostly clinical stage and hopefully late clinical stage medicines that look like they work, that are available on very reasonable terms, that we can then find partner companies that we get lots of stock and royalties on and milestones, look for early exits, and create shareholder value and shareholder cash flow. Go to slide number 12 through 18. These are our single case product studies. We really don't have the time to go through each one, but they are really exciting therapeutic candidates, and I think reflect well on our ability to be effective in this value creation business that we work in. The slide presentation is located on our website at fortressbiotech.com, and I invite you to take a look at those. I'm going to skip now to slide number 19. As you can see, we have a substantial number of top-tier academic and commercial partners. We expect in the years to come up with either a lot more slides like this, or we'll just really shrink the size of each representative partner, as this list should grow and grow infinitely, or certainly indefinitely. On slide 20, you can see some of our potential near-term value-creating events. There are really a lot more, but we don't want to make the slide too small or too long. Many events happening over the next months and quarters, and certainly as our products move ahead in development, our revenues grow we expect this list to get to be more and more extensive. We are really only at the beginning of our business plan. On slide 22, as we mentioned earlier, we certainly believe we have a wonderful business model that is quite unique, has a great deal of growth ahead of it. If you have any questions or answers, please feel free to reach out to us at any time, and certainly now, with a few minutes left here for any Q&A, but thank you very much for spending your precious time with us. Okay, so the first question is, why do we keep issuing preferred stock? We are currently a cash flow negative company. We hope to be cash flow positive in the near term. In the meantime, we do continue to acquire licensed drug candidates as well as marketed prescription dermatology products. Those do cost money. We use preferred stock because it is relatively non-dilutive. We are not issuing common stock when we issue the preferred stock. It is called perpetual preferred stock. It has a liquidation preference. It has a dividend of 9 3/8% paid quarterly, tax deferred until we are cash flow positive, and we have the right to buy it back after in 1922 and beyond. I don't see any other questions. So again, I thank you very much for participating in the presentation. And if you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me or my investor relations firm. We can be reached through the Fortress website. Thank you very, very much for your attendance. Have a great day.
This concludes today's webcast. You may disconnect your line at this time, and thank you for your participation.